Let's start standing. And if we're going to do a bottom to top, I think today. So let's just start by taking all of your attention into one foot. So this is my right foot. Spread the toes as wide as you possibly can. And then scrunch them up as much as you can. Try not to do this off camera. Good. And then again, broaden out all of the toes, scrunch them all up. Good. And then we're going to stretch the top of the foot and the top of the toes. So this isn't comfortable. So be kind to yourself and gentle with your toes. Can you see? So you're just tucking the toes under. So you feel a stretch in the toes, but also in the top of the ankle there a little bit. Yeah.
I do this on the front bit. I do.
Yeah. And then tuck the toes the other way. And then press, so you can keep it forwards. I'm just showing you so that you can see. Sort of press the knee forwards a little bit and maybe waggle the knee. So can you feel the stretch under the foot?
Yeah.
Nice. And then lift that foot off the floor. Let's point and flex and point and flex and point and flex. And see if you can take it to your absolute fullest range of movement. So you feel the muscles of the shin and the calf work. You'll feel a little bit in other parts as well. One more. The standing leg will start to tire. And then make the biggest circle you can, but at the ankle, so the hip doesn't move. So just at the ankle. So new movement up here. And then the other way. And then shake out the leg. And shake out the standing leg. Lovely. So you should feel a tiny bit different in the feet already just by doing that really small movement. So we'll take it to the other side. Can you spread, as you lift this foot off the floor, spread across the balls of your feet. So you're trying to spread the toes wide. They might do funny shapes. That's absolutely fine. And then scrunch them. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Spread wide. Scrunch. And then we'll stretch the top of the toes. So be really gentle with it, especially if, like us, you're on a hard floor. Yeah. And feel as if the knee is floating forwards, and you'll get a bit more stretch on the top of the foot. Yeah, it only needs to be a really gentle touch on the floor. And then tuck the toes and stretch the other way. So again, you're releasing the knee forwards to get a bit of stretch here. Good. Give them a waggle and then point the toes so you feel the calf muscle work. You want to really feel the muscles that work here. As you draw the toes back, you feel the shin muscles, calf muscles, shin muscles, calf muscles. Fullest range that you can possibly get. Try not to worry about the standing leg getting tired. Just have a break if you need to. And then make the biggest circle you can, but just moving at the ankle. So there's no movement at the hip. Try not to let your toes do all the work. And then change direction. Lovely. And then give that leg a shake with the standing leg shake. Well done. So then we're going to do a little bit of, I've called these ponies before, and I don't know where I got that from. So you're up on the ball of one foot, flat on the other. And then you're just going to lift and drop the heels. So you're going from one to another. This is dress color for me, is it? There we are. So up, both, down, one, up and down. So I want you to feel not just the mobility in the toes as you go up and down on the feet, but also can you feel the calf muscle pumping as you come up and then down? Can you feel there's almost that pumping sensation, which is really good for your circulation. So take your time, really squeeze as you come up and gently drop down. That's it. And can you squeeze your buttocks as well as you come up? That's it. So you're coming up, down, letting one knee just drop forwards. We'll just do a couple more. Up, 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 and then up and hold it. I see you might be able to take your hand off the chair. Not sure I can this morning. There we are. Hold it. Can you balance? And how slowly can you take the heels down? And release. Lovely. And just give that all a little bit of a shake about, release some tension. So let's then stretch. So we're still working on this lower part of the leg, the foot, the ankle. So you're going to step the right foot back. Get the chest lifted nice and tall. So if we're here facing the floor, you'll still get a stretch. But there's something here as you start to lift where the pelvis will tuck under a bit and you get a bit more stretch. Can you lengthen the tailbone or the tummy muscles back a little bit? Really push into your back heel. Can you feel that stretch? And then I want you to imagine that the back of that back knee is an eye and you're going to open it as much as you possibly can. Lovely. Now press the back toes into the floor. And breathe and relax your shoulders and pretend this is lovely. There we are. And then step into the front foot, circle the back ankle. Step back with the same foot, same stretch. So again, open the back of the knee, push into the heel, lifting your chest. We don't want any compression in the lower back, so just make sure that that stays comfortable. Push your back toes into the floor. You might be able to let go of the chair, and maybe you can take your arms up. Nice, so you want to be focusing on the calf stretch. Toes pressing into the floor, bring the hands down and step forwards. And then just give that leg a real stretch. Step the same foot back last time. And this time I want you to stick your bottom out and bend this back knee. So as if you were going to sit down. So can you feel you've now got a stretch coming down the back of the calf, but lower down towards the Achilles. Again, see maybe you can lift the gaze and lift the chest. Press the toes into the floor one last time. Not very comfortable. Step forwards, circle the ankle, shake the leg out. Lovely. And step that foot next to the other. And just stand tall for a moment and see if you can feel the difference between the two sides. And then step the other foot back. Soften the front knee, get the chest nice and lifted, gaze forwards. Open up the back of the knee, so as if it was an iron, you're going to open it as wide as you can. And then press the toes into the floor. Feel what happens in your body. Nice. Breathe, relax the shoulders. Step into the front foot, give that a little shake in a circle. And step back again. Nice. Relax the shoulders. There we are. Well done. Pressing the back toes into the floor. And here, maybe you can take the hands off. Maybe you can take the hands up. Don't worry if this makes you feel too unbalanced. Well done, brilliant. Press the back toes into the floor. One last squeeze here. Open the eye at the back of the knee. Step forwards, release. Well done. So we're going to step back last time and we'll change that stretch. So don't take such a long step back this time. Start to sit your bottom back as you bend both knees. So you should feel at some point you start to get a stretch in towards the back of the ankle, maybe the Achilles. Now press those back toes into the floor. That shouldn't feel comfortable, but it should feel doable. Breathe, take a nice relaxed breath. And then step forwards, release, give that all a big old shake. Oh, lovely, good. Good. And then let's turn the chair around and we're going to take a step up. So here there are lots of different ways that you can do this. Yeah, you might have the, it's not a chair handle, but you know what I mean. It might be to the side, which gives you a bit more support, or you might have it out in front of you. Can you step one foot on? Yes, lovely. And then you want to see if you feel balanced enough, you don't have to hold on to the chair. Otherwise, you can keep hold of the chair either to the side or out in front of you. And we just think about the knee this time. So this does actually work the ankle as well, and a little bit through the hip and the back. But here can we focus on the knee? So you're opening the knee, and then you're closing the knee to your own degree as you lunge forward. So we don't want pain in the knee. We just want to be feeling as if we're mobilizing, flexing and extending through the joint, feeling supported. The rest of your body should feel comfortable as well. So just moving forwards and backwards, and now start to slow it down so that we actually take a few breaths in each position. So here, when we're lunging forwards, this is going to take a little bit more muscular energy strength, if you like. So feel as if the foot's really firmly pushing into the chair. And take a breath. And now start to straighten the front knee to your own degree, so it might not be as much as me. Stick your bottom out, relax the head, and take a couple of breaths here. And here the stretch is more in the back of the knee. That looks amazing. Good, let's do that again, lunging forwards. Now this time, maybe we can add a bit of balance in, maybe the hands come onto the thigh. Now here we really need to squeeze the standing buttock. So can you take your hands onto the thigh? Come up. Yes, now can you take one arm up? That's it. And if you want to, you can take the second arm up. And then if you want one more bit of challenge, lift the heel on the chair. Come back to any of those versions if you want to. Now, if you want even more challenge, you lift that foot. I can imagine what you're saying. I'm glad I got you muted. Right, yes, yes. Well done. And then step off and just do a little pixie dance here. So pixie dance, knees wide and open the window, never step off. Just release some of that tension, we take it to the other side. So as you do things that add in a little bit more challenge, you're having to switch on a few more muscles. If it doesn't feel safe, don't do it. Because as soon as you kind of start doing this and you don't feel safe, it's going to completely negate the benefit anyway. So stay within that comfort zone. Taking it to the edge, as they say in yoga. So step the other foot up. Again, I show you, you can have your hand to the side if you want to, same deal. And we'll just start to move forwards into the lunge. See if you can keep the heel down, don't worry if you can't. So you're just thinking about bending and straightening the leg. So we feel it in the knee, you're pumping those muscles, mobilizing through the joint. Don't worry if the heel lifts a little bit. And it should feel comfortable. Couple more. Over here. Whichever feels safest for you to do. And then spend a couple of breaths in each position. So as you lunge forwards, we want to lift the chest and squeeze, if you can, the standing buttock. Give you a bit of support, lovely. And then start to straighten the leg, take the bum back, fold over that front leg and take a breath or two here. Again, you want to feel a stretch, but it doesn't want to feel as if something's going to snap. And then come back up. If you want to try it, you can take the hands onto the thigh. Stand nice and tall. Can you start to squeeze your standing leg? Take one arm up. Okay, so that might be enough for you. Just work on the balance, see if you can work on pushing the standing foot into the floor. Take the other arm up if you're coming with me. Lift the front heel off the chair. Good, so that might be enough for you. Tone the tummy, squeeze the buttock. Lift the foot off the floor, see if you've got that. That's amazing, well done. And then release, brilliant. Well done. Great. Okay, so let's do a little bit. So we've kind of worked, can you feel we've worked into the hip a little bit as well? So we do a bit more to the hip. And also it is the knee too. So we're going to take the feet wide and turn your toes out to about 10 to 2. And then you're going to just float one knee over the toes and then the other. So one leg straight, one leg bent. And we start to get a little stretch through the adductors. So you feel that in the groin and the inner thigh. So you swing the hips from side to side. This is also working the knee and the ankle. Good. And then can you go to one side and stay there? Can you take the same hand to the same knee? That's it. And turn the other toes out a tiny bit more. You get a tiny bit more stretch. Is that okay? Lovely. Take another breath. And try that to the other side. So hand on the chair, straighten that leg, then the other. Take your hand onto your knee, yeah. Turn to and turn those straight leg toes out a little bit more. Yeah. And now breathe. Great. So straighten both legs. Great. Turn the toes forwards. So you've got a wide leg and both toes are pointing forwards. And then see how you feel bending the elbows and sticking the bottom out. So we start to get a bit more stretch into the hamstrings. You might find that you can bring your elbows down. Otherwise, you can stay here. So again, when you're stretching hamstrings in the back of your legs, you want to feel that it feels like a nice stretch and not something that's really yanking on the sit bones or the back of the knee. It wants to feel comfortable. And then straighten your elbows again and start to look forward. So here you're lifting up the chest, but you're also broadening the sit bones. Good. Now start to pull the belly away from the floor, rounding the spine to the top of the chin. So it's like a wide-footed cat-cow movement. So come back into the extended version, broaden the sit bones, looking up. Good. Exhale, pull the tummy up as much as you can. So you round the spine to the ceiling. Do that once more. Inhale, shoulders draw back. Exhale, pull the belly in. Good. Come halfway and then heel toe the feet back underneath your hips. And we'll do cat-cow again. So it's slightly different in each position. And for me, I feel better having my hands flat on the chair. But you can hold it to the sides if you want to, whatever feels better for you. And again, as you inhale, the shoulders draw away from the ears and the sit bones broaden. So bring your feet a bit closer, Glynis, to each other. The feet closer to each other. Yeah. Good. And inhale, lift sit bones, exhale, push into the chair. And that really helps to get the rounding of the spine. And maybe you can have a little shuffle from side to side of the hips and shoulders. And then inhale, lengthen forwards again. Good. Exhale, pull the belly up. As you're looking back towards your knees, maybe just swing the hips a tiny bit from side to side. See if you can get a bit more stretch in the sides of the body. Yeah, do that one more time. Inhale, shoulders draw back, sit bones lift. Exhale, pull the tummy up. And just swing the hips a little bit from side to side. Good. Bend the knees, 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 bend the knees. Can you look up? That's it. And then exhale, bow and straighten the legs. Do that again. So as you bend the knees, sitting right back, start to look forwards, hands stay on the chair. And then exhale, straighten the legs and look back. Nice. Can we do that one more time? Sit back, come onto the fingertips of your, on the chair. Fingertips, so you're barely touching. You might take one hand off. So if you're going to bend the knees, yeah. And then take the other hand off. Here we are. Yes. Hands down. Great. And then come up and release some of that tension. Oh, that's good, isn't it? So that was practice for what we do next, of course. We're gonna do a sit. No, we're not. We're gonna do a hover. We're gonna do a hover squat. So if you are not confident with doing sit to stand squats, which we work on quite regularly here, then I would start from sitting. But if you've done loads of them, which we all have, first of all, just touch the chair with the back of your legs. So you know, your brain knows the chair's there. Yeah? Brain, chair. Good. Now you can move forward from it if you want to, but otherwise you can stay there. Your calves just touch. So what we're going to do is we're not going to sit down if we can help it. So your arms can float forwards, the knees float forwards, your sit bones float back. And then you're going to feel as if my thighs just touch the edge of the chair. I'm not going to sit down. Push into your feet, come all the way up, squeeze the buttocks. Good. Well done, everyone. Let's do that a couple more times. Now, I want to feel the knees float forwards, they don't drop in. So you might have to have a look at them and just check that they're behaving. Hover. Well done. Brilliant, everyone. Come up slowly with control, squeeze the buttocks. Well done. Should we do that again? Hover. Knees forward, sit bones back. Hover. Push into your feet, come up. Squeeze the buttocks. Well done. This time I'm going to sit down as slowly as you can. So make it difficult, we'll cross the arms over the chest. You can have them out forwards if you want to. See if you can keep looking forwards. Your knees float forwards, the sit bones float backwards, the thighs might touch. Now see how slowly can you lower into the chest. Really hard. And sit back and just waggle. Good. So sit forward in your chair a little bit, open up the knees. Do another little stretch for the inner thighs. So here the toes and the knees are pointing in the same direction. And you might want to adjust that if this doesn't feel comfortable. What you're going to do is take an elbow onto the thigh, turn the palm up, and see, can you feel as if you're squeezing that shoulder back? And then the belly button's going to turn to the other knee. There we are. And then you can take this arm up. So here we get a twist and a stretch through the side of the body. And if you can, this elbow is slightly encouraging the knee to come wider. So you might feel an adductor stretch and a thigh stretch as well. You got that? If the shoulder doesn't like it, just bring the hand down onto the hip. And then come slowly up. Let's roll the shoulders. Well done. Keep the knees wide. So the wider you have your feet, the more you'll get a stretch in the adductor. So if it doesn't feel good, you just bring your feet a bit narrower. Take the other elbow down and feel as if that elbow is helping to press the outside of your knee over your baby toe. Yeah, if you want more stretch, then this knee can be wider, but just be circumspect. And then see as you push your elbow in, can you start to turn the belly button around to the other leg? If it feels good, take the top arm up. If not, you can have it on your hip. Oh, fine. See, can you stretch your fingertips? Breathe into that lung. Nice. And then start to come back down. Oh. And roll. Bring the feet back underneath your hips. And then let's pay a bit more attention to the shoulders as we come up. So slow shoulder rolls. Lift the shoulders to the ears. Squeeze them back behind you. Draw the tips of the shoulders to the back pockets and then release. So you've got up to the ears. Squeeze them into the back towards the spine. Draw them down as if you're putting them in your back pockets and then release. So slow but full range. You want to feel like, oh, there might be a few clumps and clicks. You're keeping your head still. So try not to let the head come forwards as you take the shoulders back. We don't want chicken necks. Good. So just moving the shoulders up, back, down, release. Yeah, click, click. Click, click, normal. Unless there's a shooting pain associated, you don't want that. Good. Okay. So can you keep the shoulders moving and start to bring the arms out a little bit to the sides? Good. So you're still staying movement with the shoulders. Trying to keep the head still. Start to bring the arms out to the sides. Gets more difficult for the brain to understand what you're doing. Lift the shoulders, draw it back, take them down. Good. Now turn the palms up. See, can you keep that movement? Difficult. If you have a dodgy shoulder, then you just keep one arm down. But we're trying to keep the shoulder blades moving. Now you can try it maybe, if your shoulders don't mind, in a wide shape. Yeah, so if it's too much, just bring them back down. It feels okay. Oh, keeping the head still. One more. Nice. Bring the arms out. Turn the palms up, squeeze the thumbs towards each other and just give the head a little shake here. So feel as if you're squeezing your shoulder blades in towards the spine. That's it. And then release. Oh, That was tough.
It's lovely when it stops.
It's lovely when it stops, yeah. Yeah, great. I'm not gonna put that on my website. So then let's do a couple more stretches for the lower body. So we're gonna do, this is a little bit of a calf stretch, and you may or may not feel it, but we'll try it. So if you come towards the front of your chair and take one foot back, and you want to try to get the heel on the floor, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't go completely. And then you're going to lean forwards and really come onto this bent knee. So can you start to feel as you try to push the heel down, you get a bit of a stretch in the back of the calf? Can you feel that? Yeah. You might take it even a little bit further back. Yeah, and now press the toes into the floor and just pulse the toes up and down a bit. Good. And then come up, hold on to the back of that thigh and lift the leg. Oh, turn the toes back. Now here, as you push your hands into your thigh and your thigh back into your hands, you want to feel this muscle working. So if it's easier to sit back a bit into your chair and go ahead, yeah. So can you feel the thigh muscles? So release them and then squish them on. Release them, release, squeeze them on. So this is where we want to feel it, just above the knee, yeah? Yeah, perfect. Good. Lovely. And then sit really tall. See if you can keep hold of your leg. And then hug it in. Oh, and circle the ankle. Well done. Good. Circle the ankle the other way. Bring that one down. We'll try that calf stretch on the other side. So I'll just show you now. So you sit a little bit further forwards in your chair, you bring that other heel back, and here I have more restrictions, so it's more difficult for me to keep the heel on the floor. So I'm going to take it down, I'm going to start to lean into this knee, and then I'm going to see if I can press the heel down. And I might be able to slide the knee a little bit further forward. So we're coming into this stretch here. Can you feel that? Yeah. So the further back your heel, the more stretch you have. Good. Press the toes into the floor a few times, just pulsing down and releasing a few times. Great. And then as you come up, scoop that leg up. When you can sit a bit further back in your chair. Nice. And then as you straighten through the heel, you're pressing your hands into the thigh into the hands. Can you feel this muscle start to work here? So it's the bottom part of your quads. So you release it and then press. Release it, press, release it. And you should feel it start to warm up. How is it on that knee?
This is the belly.
Oh, that's the belly. How was it?
Yeah. I can feel the muscle.
Yeah. So it helps to the knee to feel a bit more supported. Just do that a couple more times. Squeezing. Lovely. And squeeze. And then can you sit really tall? You start to sit tall. Lovely. And release. And just take the knees wide and give them a waggle. Release some of that. So we come back to the spine. Making sure that we've covered all of our bases. So sit forward, widen the feet, and we'll just do another cat-cow movement, but make it small. So when we were doing it standing, it's quite a big movement, we've got quite a lot of the body going. Can we keep the upper body still here? So what we're trying to do is control the movement of the pelvis. So it's a much smaller movement. It drops forwards, it tips back. So we're doing the same thing in that we're lifting the chest, so we're focusing on the pelvis dropping forwards. Then you pull your belly back and you tip onto the back of your sit bones. Can you feel the pelvis is moving? So this gets you much more targeting the very bottom of your spine, the lumbar spine. Nice, lovely. So you're sitting up tall, the pelvis tilts forwards. If your pelvis is a bowl, you're spilling out the front, back through neutral, spill out the back. Good. Couple more times. Just see if you can really feel the lower part of your back working. Lovely. And then let's make it a bit bigger. So get the upper back involved as well. So we squeeze the shoulder blades as we lift the heart. And then as the pelvis tilts backwards, We squeeze the belly in and the shoulders round. Yeah, inhale, squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, pull the belly back and just round the spine a bit more. Let's do that a couple more times. Lifting up. So you should feel like there's a wave of movement through the whole spine. And pushing into your feet as you exhale. Lovely. Great. Come back to neutral. So walk the feet together, cross one leg over the other. If you don't want to do that for any reason, then you're just going to cross the ankles and squeeze the knees together. Yeah. Otherwise, we're here. Sitting nice and tall, you might be here. You're going to take opposite hand to opposite knee. So it might be the top knee or the front ankle. And you're going to start to turn. So this hand is going to press into this top thigh and help to lever you through. The back hand can be on the base of the chair behind your pelvis, or it might be on the side of the chair. Can you keep that shoulder from lifting up to your ears? So we start to get a rotation here, give the head a shake. We don't want the tension to come up into the neck. Lovely. Take another breath there. Glynis, can you twist the other way? Yes. There we are. Good. Take another breath. See if you're breathing into the twist, into the compression. Lovely. And then come back to the center, uncross the leg. Just give everything a bit of a shake and a waggle. And then the same on the other side. So either crossing one knee over, or you cross the ankles, squeeze the knees together, and then opposite hand, opposite thigh. Sit really nice and tall. This back hand can be on the chair or on the base behind you, and start to lever yourself between your hands round into a twist. Feel as if the crown of your head is lengthening towards the ceiling. Yeah. Relax your face, breathe into the twist. Squeeze the knees together if your ankles are crossed. Take another breath. Give the head a bit of a shake, make sure there's no tension there, and then release back to the center. Well done. So let's do another shoulder roll. Good. And then go the other way. Feels slightly weird doing it the other way. Yeah. And then shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze and then let them drop. Squeezing up. Exhale as they drop. Good. Inhale. Last one. Great. And then circle the wrists. Few clumps and kicks there. Try with the fists, so the fingers closed first. You get a slightly stronger stretch in some areas. Keep the elbows still, just move at the wrists. And then the other way. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Make sure there's no pain, so just be gentle here. Now spread the fingers wide and see if you can keep the wrists moving. All sorts of clunks. So circling the wrist. Yeah, that's it. And then the other way. Oh, fingers wide. Nice. And then shake that out. We'll do our hand stretch. So stop sign, bring all 4 fingers back, and you're pressing forward with the heel of your hands. So you feel the stretch to the palm of the fingers, maybe in the forearm. Take a breath, relax your shoulders. Release the little finger, let it do a dance with the thumb. And then the ring finger. And then the middle finger. Good. Scoop all of those 4 fingers back and then release the index. So he's had a party as well. Good. And then play the piano and do some starbursts. Shake it out. Other side. So pulling all 4 fingers back, pressing through the heel of the hand. Feel the stretch wherever you feel it. Palm fingers, maybe forearm. Release the little finger, let it dance with the thumb. And then release the ring finger. And then the middle finger, and then scoop all 4 fingers back, release the index finger. You get quite a strong stretch there. Nice. And then play the piano, starburst, shake out the hands. Lovely. Let's do another shoulder roll. And then we'll do a little bit of neck mobilization. So you can do this eyes open or eyes closed, it's up to you. Start to let the chin drop down towards the sternum. And at the same time, can you feel like you're stretching the back of your skull to the ceiling? So we get this lengthening in the back of the neck. Good. Start to relax that, the head comes back up to neutral, and just start to lift the chin, but you're not dropping the head back, you're just lifting the chin and taking the nose to where the ceiling meets the wall. Press the head back, the ears back, and then drop the head again, chin down, and feel as if the occiput, the base of the skull is lengthening to the ceiling. Shoulders drawing down. Good, coming back to neutral, take an inhale. As you exhale, turn to the right, and then do a tiny micro shake of the head to the right. So as if you were just saying no to the person on your right, and then say yes to the person on your right. And then no, and then yes. And then slowly bring the head through the center, take the chin to the left, and shake your head no, nod yes, shake no, nod, shake. One more time, nod, shake, and come all the way to the center. Take your right hand, bring it over the top of your head, so the fingertips are coming towards your left ear, and then allow the right ear to drop towards the right shoulder, just to your own degree. Take your left fingertips and start to point them down to the floor. So we find a stretch here in the side of the neck. You don't want it to be too strong. Can you relax the shoulders and breathe? Great, now you're going to turn your head so the nose is coming down to look at the right side. And your fingers just turn and they're now towards the back of your head. And you're looking down towards the right thigh, your left fingertips pressing towards the floor. Take a breath into that stretch. Start to come up slowly, slowly, slowly. And then just roll the shoulders, give the head a little release. Feeling okay? And then go the other way. So the left fingertips wrap over towards your right ear. So they're not on the ear, they're just over the top of the head, relaxing the shoulders both, so we don't want tension here. And then gently, gently allowing your left ear to come towards your left shoulder without pulling it. So the hand is there to give the head support and a tiny little bit of ballast, if you like, but you're not pulling. Stretch the right fingertips towards the floor. Start to play with that stretch. If it feels too much, you could just circle that shoulder. Working in and out of the stretch. And then start to turn the head. Even as you reach the right fingertips towards the floor, you're looking down to the left thigh. Fingers just slide towards the back of the skull. And again, you're working with that stretch here. It just changes towards the back of the neck and the shoulder a bit. Take a nice deep breath. Good, come back to center, interlink the hands behind your skull, just give it a little bit of loosen if you need to. So you're interlinking your hands and just cradling the back of your skull. Let the shoulder blades drop and the elbows come forwards. So your hands are on the back of your skull, but you've relaxed your shoulders away from the ears. Now start to press the back of your head into your hands. So can you feel as you press the head into the hands, that gap just to the top of the neck where it meets the skull starts to open up. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. Shoulders are still relaxing from the ears, elbows forwards. Lovely. And then you're just going to draw a figure of 8 with your elbows. Pressing the head gently into the hands, keeping the hips still. Lovely. And then come back to center. Shrug the shoulders. As you release the hands, release the shoulders. And let the hands drop into your lap. And just any last movements to the neck and the shoulders. And then let your body start to slump and relax into your chair. The head can drop if that feels good. Close the eyes. Take a really deep breath into the whole of your body. And as you let the breath go, let the body just slump into the chair, heavy and relaxed and super comfortable, no tension. And then let the breath soften. And even let the jaw soften. And let your weight be heavy into the chair. Inhale as you come up, open your eyes. Well done, everyone.